Hey everybody, this is Presto,
Corporal Nosage.
and you are listening to episode 39 of the Nintendads podcast, Rage! This
Raging.
is
Are you
a
raging?
very...
I'm raging.
I'm raging. This is a very special episode. This is a review episode of Streets of Rage 4 DLC Mr. X Nightmare. Now, before we go any further, full disclosure, our review copies of this DLC were oh so generously provided to us by the co-developers of Streets of Rage 4, which is .emu, Guard Crush Games, and Lizard Cube. Round of applause. We are humbled.
We haven't
and
said
thankful.
that name so much.
We've said it like 10 times on every time we've streamed the game. But they provided this review copy for us to play and enjoy and report back to you with. But then they went a little extra because they gave us a couple copies of the game to give away. Who would have thunk? So, somewhere in this episode, randomly,
somewhere.
listen to this entire episode, dear viewer,
Where,
because
Presto?
somewhere, who knows?
I don't know.
You're gonna have to walk.
You know
around.
where? I don't know.
I know where. It's in our notes, so we do know where. Somewhere in this episode, we are going to give you a URL that you can go to enter to win the full base copy of Streets of Rage 4.
We are definitely not
Switch.
making it easy.
On the Switch, of course. We're the Nintendads. So keep an ear or an eye out. At some point, we will kind of pause the episode and give you the URL where you can enter. The more people that listen, the more people that'll enter, but you have to be listening to the whole episode because you never know when it's going to come. Could come in like the next 2 minutes. Could come in the last 2 minutes.
The very last 3 seconds.
Could be in the middle somewhere. We're not going to tell you. So check out that. So yes, this is our first
We are going to tell you.
Oh, we're going to tell you when it happens, but we're not going to tell you before. So yeah, we're super thankful and super happy that that was a thing. Before we jump into the episode, we got some news items. We're recording this on Monday night, but it will be released, you'll be listening to this at the earliest on Wednesday, which is the exact day that Pokemon Unite comes out. If you're not familiar with Pokemon Unite, it is
Presto,
3v3?
Does anybody know about Pokemon Unite?
Some people
their
do.
Marketing has been shit.
Yeah. So, Pokemon is releasing a League of Legends ripoff. That's
Thank you.
the story.
Thank you.
It's a League of Legends ripoff. I think it's 4v4.
And that explains why their marketing has been shit.
I don't understand. It's a Pokemon game. It's coming out on Switch and mobile. It looks mildly interesting. I'll probably stream it at least once after I kick off my crippling addiction to survival mode in the new Streets of Rage, but we'll talk about that.
But the next news
oh
has
my
got
god.
all of the undersea creatures buzzing.
I am going to have to it's going to be so difficult for me to keep this to a reasonable time length for me to talk about this. But in the interest, we might end up doing a whole episode on this. And I'm not joking. Nickelodeon has announced Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, which is going to be... What is it with Nintendo, like, getting ripped off and ripping off people? It's going to be Nickelodeon Smash Brothers.
Yeah, if you liked Super Smash in any way, shape, or form, replace all of the Super Smash characters with Nickelodeon characters, and that's your game.
SpongeBob SquarePants versus Nigel Thornberry. It's not a meme. God. It's not a meme. If Nigel Thornberry does not say smashing in this game, we're not touching it.
Invader Zim versus Reptar?
Yeah, that was in the trailer!
Yeah, I know!
Okay, so, I know what you're thinking. Presto, why would I ever play another garbage Smash ripoff? There's PlayStation All-Stars, there's all these crap clones of Smash, and I'll tell you why.
Why? I'll tell you why.
You tell me why.
This one's going to have a better netcode than Super Smash.
Oh, Lord. it's true. The Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl game is going to have rollback netcode, which, if you don't know what rollback netcode is by now, you have not been listening to me. Rollback netcode is the god tier netcode for online games, specifically fighting games. And it was confirmed, sort of by accident, one of the developers was talking to people in Discord and said this offhand, not thinking it would make news headlines across the gaming industry. But this game also is going to have wave dashing, which is one of the quintessential techniques that makes Smash Bros. Melee, like, way above any other platform fighting game.
Wave dashing is above my skill set and knowledge repertoire, so I let either the viewers / listeners hear the boring news from you.
It's going to be good. It's going to be... Oh, it's probably going to be more technical than Smash Bros. Ultimate, from what I'm seeing. And it is designed to be fun, obviously, because it's a Nickelodeon brawler, but it's going to have... There's a competitive element that's being baked into the game, because this is the developer that did Slap City, which I'm not going to pretend to know much about, but they've made platform fighting games before with a competitive element in mind, and they said they went back to Nickelodeon and said, hey, we'll do this, we'll make your game, but are you cool with us embracing competitive mechanics and building this so it can potentially be competitive? And Nickelodeon was like, you got it. So it's 2021, and Nickelodeon is officially embracing competitive play more than Nintendo.
It's 2021, and it's possible that Nintendo will have a better fighting game.
Nintendo is going to make a better Smash game than Nintendo. Nickelodeon is going to make a better Smash game than Nintendo. We're living in the weirdest timeline, folks. I don't know what else to say. Speaking of what is going on, Nintendo randomly dropped a collaboration with watchmaker Tag Heuer to make a Mario Brothers themed smartwatch. And if you know Tag Heuer,
it's a beautiful watch.
It's a beautiful watch. It's got it's a smartwatch, so it's got can do biometric readouts, step counting, all that stuff. It is a $2,000 watch.
Oh yeah,
it is $2,050. Mario comes out. It's got animations. I'm assuming you can do some sort of linking with your smartphone for your email or
also
texting.
Super limited. They've announced that they're only going to be releasing 2,000 watches that are currently being produced.
Ooh, I didn't know that. I did not know that.
It's super hot collector item.
How is this not part of the Mario 35th?
Maybe it is. It just didn't get released in time.
It's got late. It's COVID. It's COVID late. COVID fashionably late. If you're looking,
they wouldn't be late.
If you're looking for any Father's Day gifts for next year, for us specifically, this wouldn't be the worst thing you could get us. I'm just saying. Anyway,
a $2,000 watch that can't even be show up on time.
Smartwatch. Yes, you'll have the $2,000 watch. You'll still be 15 minutes late to every stream. Anyway. All right, let's jump into Mr. X Nightmare. So, this is our review of Streets of Rage 4 Mr. X Nightmare. The first, hopefully not the last, DLC we're going to see from Streets of Rage 4.
But presto, tell us, what is Streets of Rage 4 for those noobs?
If you've made it this far into the episode and you don't know what Streets of Rage 4 is, good on you. Listener loyalty. So Streets of Rage 4, first of all, Streets of Rage as a series is one of the granddaddy of the beat-em-up genre. You got one or two little guys, you go sideways on the screen, big thumbs come out, you beat them up, you go. Streets of Rage, the first three Streets of Rages came out in the 90s.
Were they all side-scrollers?
They were all side-scrollers, yes.
So they're just like the X-Men and
Teenage
the
Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Yeah.
Simpsons. That's the beat 'em up genre.
Yeah.
I played the hell out of Streets of Rage 2. It was on a Sega. It might have even been Sega CD. It was on some sort of Sega collection.
You had a Sega?
Yeah.
I thought you only had...
No.
I had the Sega, and I thought you had the Nintendo.
I did, but my first console was Sega, 1991, Sonic the Hedgehog 1. And I had a collection, I had a Genesis collection that was like Golden Axe 2, Streets of Rage 2, and something else. But Streets of Rage 2 was awesome because I really was young enough where I wasn't supposed to be playing it, because like you'd have like broken beer bottles like and stuff, like beating up police. So the Streets of Rage series goes back a long way. It's a side-scroller beat 'em up, and it's wonderful. Streets of Rage 4 is obviously the sequel, or whatever you call the fourth game in the series, that was released, I think, 15 years after Streets of Rage 3 came out. It's a long time. So that's what Streets of Rage 4 is for the uninitiated. You are now initiated. This DLC, we have to say this because obviously you want to wait till the end to get our final thoughts, but this DLC is $8. Okay? It's $8. We want you to keep that in mind because
you could go to Starbucks and buy a venti drink for more than you can get this DLC.
And don't act like you don't. Those aren't the drinks that you get.
I get the tiny ones.
Yeah, but they're $8 of rocket fuel jammed in there. I will straight up say...
You see this man? This man wakes up at 5 o'clock every morning and it doesn't stop until midnight.
I'm not saying you don't need it. I'm not saying you don't need it. I'm just saying you are the person with the $8 Starbucks drink. I will say this is possibly the most robust and most bang for your buck value of think any DLC for any game DLC that I've ever seen.
The most bang, like they crammed, like we talked, where was it? There was, I can't remember which episode it was. It was a couple episodes ago, and if those valued listeners can remember, feel free to shout it out in the comments. But there was an episode where we talked about the gameplay per hour compared to the dollar value given for that hour.
I think that was the indie... I think when we did the indie games.
Possibly.
It was either the indie games or our most played games, because ironically my favorite games on the Switch are all indie games, at least in the last couple of years.
The dollar per hour value of gameplay that you acquire for this is astronomically more compared to anything you can get on any AAA title.
I mean, DLC, a DLC character for Smash is $6, right? $5, $6. I have the pass.
I think it's $5. $5,
$6. So for a couple dollars more, you get an entire, like, it's not even comparable. It's a joke how much they could have easily charged $15 for this DLC, and it would still be.
They could have easily charged $20 for this DLC.
I know, but the game on its own is only like $25-$30. So anyway, that out of the way. If you're even thinking, if you're even wondering, maybe you should just get it. Just get it.
Yeah.
You can send us a thank you note later. One last thing before we get into the technical stuff is we do have to report this because this has been a big part of the launch, but. For the last couple days, me and Corporal are one of the only people who have been able to play this DLC on the Switch.
Very few people who've been able to play it on the Switch, and we are the lucky two.
Because something got borked in the eShop, and
although we talked about maybe a giveaway, and if you have the giveaway, you'll have a code, and maybe the code will let you do it regardless if there's a problem or not, and we can only
Yes.
give that to you here at the Nintendads, something like that. Maybe, I don't know.
It's true. There is another video on our Facebook page where we are giving away another free copy of the game and a copy of the DLC on Switch. So pause this video and go look through our other videos to find that video. So many giveaways! It's nuts! But yeah, there was a technical issue with the game being listed on the eShop. The game was there because we downloaded it because we had the code so generously provided by the devs. But the general
The
public...
devs again?
.emu, Guard Crush Games, and Lizard Cube. I can say them so fast now. But yeah, there was some hiccups with the... And apparently PlayStation on the PlayStation 5 storefront, but that was like, it was up, it was down, it was up. Switch, as of this recording, I still don't think it's up. They posted an update earlier today. This is Monday, saying it would be fixed soon. That it's in review. It's in Nintendo. I mean, ultimately, I'm 90% sure this is Nintendo's fault because the eShop is held together by Shoelace and Bubblegum. Saying we've taken a lot of shots at the eShop before, and so let's just blame the eShop. Anyway, on to the meat and potatoes of Mr. X Nightmare.
Mr. Presto, what comes with this DLC?
Boy, howdy! I'm glad you asked. So the first big thing that was advertised, and probably, although I would argue it's not the most impactful, because basically with the DLC you get 3 new characters, you get the new survival mode.
That's also impactful.
You get there's new items and weapons and stages to use in said survival mode. And also, of course, there's new music to go with all this stuff.
Probably the most impactful.
Yeah. And then there's also a free update that everybody gets with some stuff that we'll talk about. We'll get there. But the DLC was spearheaded. The first thing they announced with this DLC was the new characters. And the first character they announced, we're going to talk about them in the order that they were announced. The first character, my personal favorite, the one that I was like, how is she not a playable character, is Estelle.
And if you haven't played Streets of Rage 4, imagine Rambo, but female, wearing a bulletproof vest.
Yes, Estelle is one of the bosses that you actually have to fight twice in the storyline. She's kind of a no-nonsense female police officer.
She's your daddy.
She's always saying, backup requested, and then she just nukes you.
She suddenly has an accent?
No, that's what she does. She goes, backup requested. It's not an accent, it's just that sound. That's how the sound clip sounds.
From New York.
No, that would be like, hey, I need some help over here. You gotta get these guys with fire cannon. It's funny because her special, where the police car pulls up and he pulls out the bazooka and then it goes chunk, that is one of the special star moves from Streets of Rage 2. The first time that happened, my lizard brain went, oh, I remember getting killed by this, or I remember using this over and over again. It was the only way I was able to clear enemies in the original Streets of Rage 2 game.
Lizard brain.
So, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on Estelle before I go over...
Estelle?
Yeah.
So there's 2 other characters that are, well, 3 other characters depending on your opinion here, but there's 2 other characters that are main playable. If we think about them in weight, like body size, weight, and movement skill, and power of ability, I feel like she's mid-grade.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, she's a safe bet. But her style and her flair and her, I guess, presence is dominating.
Yes. So Estelle, yeah. So in the DLC, there's Estelle. There's a heavy character that's slow. That's a grappler, and then there's a faster ninja character. And Estelle's kind of like in the middle. She can't dash, but she has like a normal walk speed. And she has some moves, specifically her heavy charge move where you hold the button down, the attack button, and she does her like little flip kick. She basically has the ability to relaunch knocked down opponents, which is super good
because you can chain
combos.
Into combos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Similarly, she also has her jump special move, throws a grenade, which also can knock down, like either you can use it as kind of like a get up option so that when the enemy's getting up, you're automatically hitting them. Or if you somehow time it right, you can hit them off the ground. She has a good blitz move. I would say, out of the three, for me, she's the most difficult to play. Not that she's difficult to play. She's pretty straightforward. But I would say to play her, out of the three, she's the most difficult to play.
She's the most difficult to chain in combos and therefore create crazy damage.
I think she's the most difficult to be good with, but I also think I don't know. I think she might have the potential to do the most damaging combos. Once they figure her out, once they optimize combos and stuff, I think she might have
optimized combos.
But she's absolutely, unequivocally my personal favorite when it comes to style. She's not my favorite one to play, but she is. If I was stuck on a desert island and I had to get a tattoo of one of these three characters, it would be her, because she's badass. She's just the coolest looking. I watched a dev video. Don't look at me like that. I watched a dev video, and this Estelle is based off of a real person that one of the developers met. I forget where he was, but there was this like badass like female cop that he had an interaction with, and he like that like stuck in his mind, and that was the base experience for creating Estelle.
Like how we just kind of glossed over the fact that you said optimize their moves.
Well, I mean, yeah, people are figuring out what you can do to continue combos, how to make big combos.
I apologize. I thought you were flirting with how you can unlock new attacks.
Oh, I mean that we'll get to unlocking new attacks, because that's the thing. Unlockable moves is a thing, and customizing your character's moveset is a thing, and people are figuring out all the moves that are unlockable moves have a purpose. That's the thing. That's what I mean by optimizing combos. Is like now not only does each character have one moveset, they have 16 combinations of movesets.
If you do forward X, she does something, but you can unlock what forward X does into different things.
Yes, and we're gonna talk
so on and so on.
But yeah, like you can do like her basic combo into a thing, into a dash attack, and they fall down, and then maybe you can use her heavy attack to launch them back into the air, and then do a blitz attack again, and then do her star attack. And I'm saying is
string things. If you can string certain things together,
I'm saying that I think at the end of the day, she might have the most potential to do cool stuff. Maybe not the top damage like infinite combos, but I think she's gonna have the coolest, most technical stuff at the end of the day when it's all figured out.
I know somebody who does some top damage though.
Yes, you introduce our next DLC character too.
I think he's your favorite.
He is. He's my favorite to play.
Max
he is.
Thunder is Max Thunder is the big, large, over-muscular brute. Like when I say over-muscular, I mean like he can't scratch his back or turn his head.
You don't know how flexible he is. The man might do yoga. You don't know him like that.
I am profiling this video game character, and I'm telling you, he can't turn his neck. Anyway, Max Thunder, he is also a boss, and that's a trend here, that you can fight against in the story mode, and therefore now he's playable character in survival as well as in the main game.
Yeah, technically, so you can unlock Max, I think the Streets of Rage 2 version of him as a retro character. Before the DLC, you could unlock and play him as a retro character. But it was so different.
For those of you who don't know, because of how old this video game series is, there is retro characters, which are like 16-bit version of the character, and then there's the current gen character, which is the full like HD 1080p graphics, glistening stars and sparkles version of the characters, where like their shirts will move and flutter in the wind.
Beautiful.
Whereas the 16-bit characters literally look
just like yeah, they look so retro.
Like original Mario.
Yeah. So Max is your typical grappler. He can't dash. He is very slow. But once he gets in, you're dead. The enemy's life bar just gets
serious
deleted.
Damage.
He can his quirk is once he grabs enemies, he can jump. He can jump forward or backward with the enemy in his grasp, and you can do two things. If you're holding an enemy forward and you jump, after you jump, you'll be holding the enemy from behind. And once you're holding the enemy from behind, you can either suplex them backwards or do my favorite move in the entire game, this suplex, and lightning comes down because he's friggin' Max Thunder. Or you can throw the enemy during the jump, which is cool. Like if somebody's coming at you and like one of the guys is like kicking, you can throw them like a projectile, like an item. But yeah, so basically your goal with him is to do his little combo stuff, get your hands on an enemy, and just poof, delete their life bar. And it doesn't get old. It's so satisfying. I love it. I'm addicted.
The next character is my personal favorite. It's the one that I like playing as the most. Mainly because you can change his color palette and make him look like Dragon Ball Z. But he's very fluid and very like ninja-y.
Yes.
And that's Shiva.
The Weapon.
The Weapon.
Yeah, I mean, Shiva's a ninja. He's a ninja. He does all the ninja things. He is, of course, also a boss that you have to fight in the story mode. Shiva, so he's another character that appeared in past games that you can unlock the retro version, the Streets of Rage 3 version of him, who I actually played the retro version of him quite a bit through the story mode because he's very fast. Why do you like why is he your favorite out of the three? I really thought you were gonna be like, oh, I'm in love with Estelle, like that's my gal.
I still prefer, this is gonna sound bad, I prefer Axel almost as much as I prefer Shiva.
Okay.
I think Axel and Shiva, although they are different, are very well balanced. Shiva's very fast and has a lot of quick moves. And Shiva is also very light and fluid. So I like that because I feel like I can get out of more situations. Whereas Estelle, I think she's just slow enough.
She's high commit. He's high commit.
Yeah. So I mean, look at me. I look like a guy who can't commit. I'm good. So that's why I like Shiva. I can get out of there real quick.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's funny. Yeah, Estelle, you do have to be strategic, like with the grenades. Some of her moves are high committal.
Yep.
Yeah, Shiva, I can see that. the technical like game mechanic that Shiva is unique to. So he has a dash, which isn't unique to him. But
I'm committing to you, though. Don't worry.
Committing to Shiva. So Shiva's thing is after he does his basic combo, he ends with a launcher where he kicks the enemy up into the air, and you can jump out of that and continue. He's the only character with mid-air combos. So you do your basic combo, and when you hit them away, you jump and follow them into the air, and then can continue to combo them in the air. And then he has a down air combo, a regular air combo, he has an air special.
Oh, you start talking about like Super Smash type character stuff.
Optimized combos. That's ASMR for you fellow fighting game people. That gives everybody brain tingles. But yeah, Shiva has a lot of technical stuff where he's very fast and he can get a lot of hits in. I still think Estelle has some mechanics that will allow her to chain combos in the long run that she will be dominant. But Shiva's definitely the easiest to pick up and play out of the three characters. For sure. For sure. He's fast. Yeah, his frame data is great. Like, he's got a lot of movement. Like you said, he can get out of sticky situations. And he's a badass. But it comes at the price, you forgot to mention, it comes at the price of you cannot pick up weapons.
No.
Because Shiva is so arrogant. And he says it throughout the game. He goes, I think he says, like, I don't need weapons. I am the weapon. So he's like, my hands are registered lethal weapons, and if you try to pick up any items, he, like, kind of kicks them up and then punches them at the opponent, which is, as soon as I saw it, I was like, this is something Corporal did to me, like, throughout childhood. Where he would just he'd be looking at me, and without breaking eye contact, he would, like, flip a stick up with his foot, grab it, and throw it at me without even, like, moving his head. He like an owl-type gyroscope thing going on. So Corporal is definitely Shiva's, like, your spirit animal in this game.
Don't have the same body.
Speaking of animals, I know we said there was 3 DLC characters, but spoiler alert, there's 4. There's 4.
For $8, they just added even more.
So, if you've played through the story mode, you might notice when you're going through the biker bar, there is a kangaroo that is the bartender. And he's, like, chained to the bartender, and he's, like, cleaning glasses, as one does. And
as any kangaroo chained to a bar would do.
Apparently he's in past games, I think. But
sure.
Rue is a playable character.
A kangaroo playable character.
He's a kangaroo, and he beats
But he's not HD 1080p super glossy.
He's retro Rue, which is almost more fun to say. He's retro Rue, and it's interesting because he's the only way to unlock him is to know this weird button combination that you have to hit
left,
on
right,
screen.
AABB start.
No, it's because everybody knows that one. So if you're playing on Switch, it is up. You go on the menu. You're at story mode. Hold up, plus, and Y. It's kind of weird, awkward. You kind of need 2 hands to do it. But yeah, up on the D-pad, Y, and plus, and just hold it for a few seconds. And you're not going to get any kind of notification. Somebody said there's a sound, although I didn't hear it when I did it.
I had my headphones in and I didn't hear it.
When you go into any game mode, you'll have Rue. He's all the way in the top right corner. And he's not a joke. I mean, he's funny. It's funny as hell that they put Rue in such like a tongue-in-cheek secret kind of way. But he's legit. Like, I haven't done any survival runs with him, but I took him into training mode, and I easily got, like, a 300 damage combo. Which is not... Like, he's a real character. Like, you can do work with him.
Wondering... Retraining... he doesn't show up on training mode.
Yes, he does. I've played with him in training mode. I played with him in training mode. That was the first thing I did.
Hold on.
Did you not? You did unlock him. I helped you unlock him.
I most certainly did unlock him. Hold on.
That's weird. Do you have to unlock him every time you play? No.
Up, down, plus Y?
Yeah, up, down, Y, and plus. Super weird.
Because he's not there now.
Oh, breaking news! You might
You might
have to do it every time that you want to play him. Interesting. Okay, well, he is in there. I promise. I've played.
Yep, he's back now.
Oh, guess who's back?
That's again. So Rue. There it is. So Rue does not stay there. He is a secret character that you have to activate each time you boot the game.
You know,
he's not a.
You know what I would say? You know what I'd say? For him to just up and leave every time you restart the game is extremely rude of him. Thank you. Anyway, so those are the 3.5 for playable characters. Next, we're gonna move on to what I would argue is the most impactful. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like that. Why don't you get the OLED model? It has a real kickstand. The OLED model. He hates the name. Any spam it in chat. Spam it in chat right now, so he has to read them as notifications when we release this episode.
Oh, I'm at work. OLED.
Okay. So the most impactful thing I think this DLC has is the survival mode.
Yes.
Because it ain't your daddy's survival mode.
So you initially had story mode, stage collect, arcade, and boss rush.
Hold on, my cat is trying to escape my office and is going to meow throughout the entire rest of this episode.
It's not a kangaroo, it doesn't count.
Okay. Yes, so you had arcade, boss mode, story mode.
So story mode, stage select, arcade mode, and boss mode. Mm-hmm. With this DLC, you now unlock survival mode.
Survival mode, it's so good. To me, this is because it has an unassuming name, survival mode, right? A lot of games have survival mode where you fight waves of enemies. But I would argue this is like this adds an basically infinite replayability factor, and I think is more like an entire other game.
So, I mean, just to point this out, right? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 original characters, then 6, 7, 8, the 3 new characters.
Yeah.
Does the retro characters also get unlockable attacks?
Yes, everybody does.
Every character gets unlockable attacks.
Everybody gets you get an unlockable attack. You get an unlockable attack. Everybody gets unlockable attacks.
So that means I haven't even unlocked.
So, but not everybody gets the same amount of unlockable attacks.
Okay, but I haven't even unlocked all of the characters yet. So I still have to unlock all of the characters. But once I unlock the characters, each one of my characters has unlockable
Well, hold
attacks.
on. We're getting ahead of ourselves here with the unlockable attack talk. Hella, thank you for coming for my unlockable attack TED Talk.
It's what gives this game that infinite playability.
So let's do a quick rundown. So, survival mode. You fight waves of enemies until you can't no more. You get 1 life to live, and after that, you're done. But
is it 1 life?
Yeah, it's 1 life. You lose once you're dead. You're dead.
Yeah, but you can die.
if you're playing with two people, the other person can revive somebody at the end of the level. But if you're playing by yourself, once you're dead, you're done. You get one life. That's it.
Getting story mode mixed up where you had multiple lives.
Yes,
okay,
story mode
go
you have
on.
multiple lives. Survival, you have one life.
One life to
But
live.
they turned survival mode into its own rogue-like game, where at the end of each level, so you spawn in, waves of guys come, you beat them, you get to choose, similar to Hades, one of my other favorite games on the Switch, you get to enhance your character in some way. Sometimes it's, okay, you're adding poison damage to your blitz attack. So now every time you do forward attack, it's going to poison an enemy. You can spawn a really strong golden item. You can... Sometimes there's ones that have drawbacks, so it's the healing items no longer heal you, but you get 8% of the damage you're outputting back in healing, or you do 100% more damage, but you take 100% more damage, and the list goes on and on and on. Of
There's ones that are for like double jumps, and
you can get triple jumps, yeah.
Poison punches, poison kicks, poison specials,
Fire damage, electrical damage, AI computer fighters that come and help you. There's some that are really straightforward, like you get 3 extra star attacks. Like you just get it. And
who doesn't want? At the last live stream we did just before you had a chance to jump in, I had 7 stars.
And you died with all 7, didn't you?
No, you jumped in and you're like, I want to join you. Come and play with me.
So yes. So the modifiers and the upgrades.
Here we go. I just beat the first stage just so I could pull this up. So this is one of them. Glass cannon. You do 100% more damage, but you take 100% more damage.
Yes.
You do more, but you get more back in return. So in other words, this is for somebody who's really good at not getting hit.
Not for us.
No.
I've never picked that perk yet.
The other perk on the stage that's available to be taken at this particular time is Fire Special. Adds a fire effect to your special attack.
Yes. So there's an important distinction, too, with survival mode. So you have regular survival mode, which is 100% randomized. The levels you go to are randomized, the enemies you fight are randomized, and the upgrades you're offered are randomized. And that's the base survival mode. That's what gives it infinite replayability, because it's a little luck of the draw, but it's also the ability to adapt and create a build strategically around what you want to do. But there's also weekly specials, which are the exact same conditions, same enemies, same buffs, in the set order for everybody playing, and basically you're playing to compete for the high score, who can get to the highest level under the same conditions, which I think adds, like, that's such a reason to pick it up every week, right?
Yeah. You think you're so good? Try week 52. Come back.
Yeah. Oh, I currently hold the number 11 spot for the weekly challenge.
Do you really?
In the world. Because nobody can download it on the Switch yet. So out of the people who got advanced copies to review, I am number 11. There's probably 12 people who have it. But I am number 11, and I will always hold on to that in my heart. So, a couple things. I think when it comes to the modifiers, it seems that getting as many modifiers as you can on your blitz attack and then spamming your blitz attack is the way to get to the highest levels. Because every single run that I've seen from streamers, from videos, people getting to level 30, 40, 50, they're all choosing upgrades based on their blitz attack and getting as many status effects on their blitz attack, so fire, poison, lightning damage on their blitz attack, and then just spamming blitz attack, specifically with one of Axel's unlockable moves, Skate's unlockable moves, and Shiva's unlockable moves. And that's a little bit disappointing. I hope that gets adjusted because spamming blitz attacks feels cheap. I did it with Max during our run.
I was to say our
and
last
it
stream
works really well. But I don't want it. I want it to be more. I want it more depth than that, and they'll probably tweak it, so that's probably not going to be the case for long. So with survival comes new enemies and new arenas to fight in. There's
maps and stuff.
Bosses, variations of the bosses, holographic, meaner versions of the bosses. You fight some of the other characters like Cherry and Adam and Blaze and Floyd and all them guys.
Boss modes, and then there's multiple bosses in a single fight.
Yeah, it gets gnarly. Survival mode, it gets wild really quickly.
Yeah.
Also, there's new items, new weapons.
Swordfish.
The swordfish is the only one that you can have as your favorite. I'm sorry.
That's it.
There's like an oar, like a kayak paddle. I think there's like a giant sword, like a Buster type sword. I think there's some sledgehammers, but the swordfish is it.
Yeah.
The first time I encountered the swordfish, I was playing as Shiva and I couldn't take it with me, and I was so mad. That was my only true rage moment for Streets of Rage. Is the first time I encountered the swordfish.
Can't take the swordfish.
And I forgot that I couldn't use it, and I was just like, yeah, the swordfish. And then I see Shiva just kid it and punt it away, and I'm like, somehow it's Corporal's fault.
It is
because you're Shiva.
I need to grow out long black hair now.
Right, and just only wear half a shirt all the time.
I don't know if that'll go over well for everybody.
I mean, dad bod. So unlockable moves. Oh, wait a second. It's that time. It's that time in the episode. If you've made it to this part of the episode, you done did it.
You did it. Are you listening? Are you paying attention?
We need to make this quick so people can't find it. So if you want to enter our giveaway for the full base game of Streets of Rage 4, giveaway.
The pre-giveaway.
All right, don't stop saying it. People are going to figure it out. Okay, go on your computer or phone or whatever and go to bit.ly. So that's bit.ly/SOR4 giveaway. All capital letters. Again, that's bit.ly/SOR4 giveaway. All caps, all one word. I'll put it somewhere on the screen when we edit the episode. If you're listening on audio, I just said it twice. bit.ly/SOR4 giveaway. Enter your email address, and we will email you if you won. So good luck. Good luck, listeners. And now back to our regularly scheduled program. Okay. Unlockable moves. The unlockable moves.
Tell me about the lockables.
So you don't lock them, you unlock them.
I get it.
As you play through survival mode, you basically gain experience points. You fill up little boxes for the character that you're playing, and when those boxes are filled, you unlock new moves that you can swap out throughout any mode. So you unlock a new blitz attack, a new strong attack, that's the attack that you do when you hold the button. You unlock a new base special attack, that's when you hit X on the ground. You unlock a new aerial special attack, that's X in the air. And then you unlock a new star attack.
Star attack!
Now, like...
That's like having Super Smash and being able to choose what your ultimate is.
Now, which is funny because they had customizable moves. They have customizable moves in Smash Ultimate, and nobody uses them because they're not balanced at all. They're just stupidly, they never touch them. So that had potential. They really should have made that a core thing, but...
No.
Anyway, so all of the mainline characters in the game, meaning all the regular, like, you know, Blaze, Axel, Cherry, Adam, Floyd, and now the 3 new characters, they all have the full 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They all have their full 5 customizable, unlockable moves. Rue also has 5 custom unlockable moves.
Because he's Rue.
Even
though he's retro Rue,
he's retro Rue, but he's the only Rue. So that's how it is.
All the other retro characters.
So let's see. All the other retro characters. So the mileage on these varies. So about half of the retro characters have 4 unlockable moves. A lot of the Streets of Rage, pretty much everybody from Streets of Rage 1 has 1 unlockable move. The Streets of Rage 2 cast has 4 unlockable moves. Everybody from Streets of Rage 3 has 4 unlockable moves, and then Rue has 5 unlockable moves. I took a screenshot. That's what I'm referencing here.
So 12.
Look at all those moves.
4.
That's some nasty glare.
12, 16.
Hello. There's a lot. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
8,
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. There's a lot. I'm not a man of math, but just quickly counting, there's like
over 50.
Probably 70.
There's over 50 unlockable moves.
Over 9,000! And yeah, so there's a lot of unlockable. I haven't even unlocked all the moves for any one character yet.
I haven't even unlocked all the characters yet.
We're gonna take care of that. Yeah, so the unlockable moves and the ability to customize, to me, adds a whole new layer. Because you can use these unlockable moves to then go back and replay the story with an entirely different moveset, basically. Which is, I mean, if you want more crowd control, there's a move for that. If you want more combo ability on bosses and stuff, there's a move for that. It's just, it's dope. It's so cool. It's one of the coolest things. I mean, everything is cool in the DLC, but...
You know, it's also cool.
Mm-hmm.
New music.
The music in this game is so good. So
good. Killer Queen Black. I think that was the last game that we were like, dude, the music.
It slaps.
Yeah.
That's what we like to say. Yeah, so the music is from a gentleman that you may have heard of, T. Lopes. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He is the legend behind the music in Sonic Mania. He's done some for League of Legends, and, rumor has it, he's doing some tracks for the upcoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
I am so excited for that game.
Also made by .emu and I think Guard Crush Games. I have to double check that, but some similar hands in the pot for that game. Hopefully, one of our hands will be in there too.
I am so excited for that game.
Yeah, but the new tracks are good. They're better than good. They're really good.
They slap. I mean,
make you want to slap your mama. So that's everything from the DLC. With the DLC,
from the paid DLC.
But
from the $8, that's what you're getting with your $8.
Yes, you're getting the survival mode with all the unlockable stuff, new enemies, new arenas, new weapons, the swordfish, new music.
But presto,
and the 4 characters.
I wasn't able to access the DLC because the eShop on Nintendo sucks. But my game's still updated and things have changed.
Things have changed. Although by the time you're listening to this episode, the issue with the eShop will probably be fixed.
Nintendo will realize to unscrew themselves.
Yeah, it's in the review process as of today, and they said it was being expedited, so I'm assuming by the time you guys are listening to this on Wednesday, it's going to be fixed.
Hopefully.
But yeah, there was also a free update with some balance changes and bug fixes and all that great stuff for the base game. They added a training mode, which has cool. Not only you can go in and practice your optimized combos, but it gives you a tutorial on offensive options, defensive options, and the tricky bits of each character. Old characters and new characters. So I mostly play Cherry, and I learned some things about her moveset that I didn't know by going through her combo tutorial in training mode. So, like, even if you think you know what you're doing, go into training mode.
Try it out.
It's good. It's legit. They gave us color palette options.
So Shiva and his initial colors are not orange and pale skin, but you can use the bumpers and change your color palette and make yourself look like Dragon Ball Z. And now he's got pale skin and orange half shirt robes,
and
which
purple
is cool.
Hair. I think that palette has purple hair.
I think it's black on that one. Purple hair is the other one, but maybe, still.
Yeah. Floyd has an option with chrome arms. Cherry has one where her hair is blue. Like, the color, they did a really good job with the color palettes. It's not
vibrant colors.
Yeah.
They can make Axel look like a lumberjack versus some street thug.
Yeah. There's some cool ones in there for sure. And then the last thing that got added in the free update is the Mania Plus. If you are an absolute sadistic person and you hate yourself, or you're really good at the game,
which is not us.
Not us. Mania Plus is an extra difficulty for the story mode.
So you've got easy mode, you've got normal mode, you've got
hardest, Mania Plus.
It is, okay.
Because I've started, before the DLC dropped, I had started playing the story mode on Mania. And I was I barely beat the first 4 levels with a C score for each of those 4 levels. And then the DLC came out. And I'll eventually get back. I will want to play the first level on Mania Plus. I feel like the first level, there's not, like, it's not, the first level is never hard to get through, but it's really hard to get a good score on Mania Plus with like all the stuff that they throw at you. So yeah, that's the free updates. And so overall, final thoughts on Mr. X Nightmare DLC. Going back to what we said for the $8, being an absurdly good value, I will say this is the best DLC I've ever gotten for any game. Like, I literally can't think of any game that has DLC that I've gotten that's better than this.
Most of the DLCs for games are AAA titles where they overcharge you and undervalue the DLC. Or they are an indie developer who puts time into a DLC, but it's a fair value for its what it provides. This is probably the first DLC where the value given exceeds the cost.
Yes. Because you have games like Breath of the Wild has DLC, where it's additional content and difficulty and options layered on top of the game. And I think if you're interested in an extra challenge, you'd get the Breath of the Wild DLC for the extra challenge. You have Hyrule Warriors, where it adds more characters and more fun content. This DLC takes both of those philosophies. Not only does it add extra challenge, it adds extra characters as a fun option, And then, like I said, they basically added a whole, like, roguelike game into this game. Like, people who are still playing this game from launch go for high scores in story mode. And they grind it, and they optimize it, and the goal before the DLC is to do as best as you can in story mode. Survival mode changes all of that. The game mode that people are going to be playing in 5 years in this game is going to be survival mode. And I think the developer looked at the community, looked at what the community was doing with the game, and said, how do we give them something that they're going to be able to replay infinitely?
Yeah.
And that's what they did, and that's, like, incredible to see developers do. Because a lot of developers are like, here, we kind of did this DLC character that's way overpowered that can 0 to death your opponent. Here, take it, and then enjoy it for a month, and then we're going to nerf him into the dirt.
Rebalance everybody.
I don't know what game that could be.
What they have done with this DLC and what they've added, what they've given to this DLC is remarkable.
I would say if you have Streets of Rage 4, I can't imagine. If you have Streets of Rage 4, you have the DLC. You have to get it. It doesn't make sense. Unless you got Streets of Rage 4 and for whatever reason you absolutely hate it, then don't get the DLC because you're not going to play it. But if you even remotely like Streets of Rage 4 and you own it, you have to get the DLC. That said, with this DLC, Streets of Rage 4 with Mr. X Nightmare is easily in my top 5 games on the Switch. Of everything.
Okay.
Maybe top 3. Probably top 3. I don't have my Switch in front of me. I have to really look at it. But it's that good. It's that good. Those are my thoughts.
I mean, it's remarkable. It straight up is remarkable. Definitely in my top 10. Probably in my top 5.
It's banger. It's so good.
It's
again,
definitely.
Thank you to Dotemu, Guard Crush Games, and Lizard Cube for providing us with the codes for this.
You have made a remarkable game.
Amazing. Chef's kiss.
You know what else is remarkable?
What?
Whiteboards.
I can't believe you did that! I can't believe you just got me with that. That was such a good setup.
I'm a big fan of whiteboards.
Oh my gosh.
I find them remarkable.
That was one of the best. That was one of the best setups. Okay, side quest. It's a 3-parter.
Okay.
Number 1, who is your favorite character in Streets of Rage 4? New characters, old characters, any characters.
I personally gravitate to Axel. Like, I just think that Axel is GOAT. But I'm really liking Shiva. Cherry is a close third.
Okay. I would say I love Adam style. Like he is the daddy in the series and we're the Nintendads. Like my favorite part of the story is Estelle in the background after you beat her for the first time and she looks pissed. And you have Adam cracking his knuckles saying Daddy's just gonna talk to the lady. That is my favorite. That's easily my favorite part of the story. Like every time I get to that, I read it and I'm like, Daddy's just gonna talk to the lady. Daddy's gonna beat this lady so hard she's gonna become an unlockable character. I would say I also love Cherry. I love to play as Cherry, but I would say it's a toss-up between Adam and Estelle, who should absolutely be shipped as a couple now that they're both playable. I'm just saying. Cherry's real mom We don't know who Cherry's mom is. Is it Estelle? Is it Estelle? That's not for this episode. The next part, what's your favorite part of the DLC? What's your favorite part of the whole package?
I mean, I'm a big fan of changing colors.
You bastard.
I really like the color palette, but besides that, survival mode.
Yeah, I gotta say survival mode. Even though the new characters are amazing, and it was
survival mode alone without the new characters enhances the game.
Yes, from the beginning they said we're gonna add new characters as a part of DLC, and then COVID hit, and it took 2 years, but it was worth the wait. But I would say if the DLC came out and they said, okay, do you want the DLC to be 3 new characters, or do you want the DLC to be their survival mode? I would pick survival mode every time, because that adds... It's a whole new game. Yeah. So, yeah, survival mode, the roguelike survival mode. The last one, if you could fight any historical figure, dead or alive, who would it be?
The true, real side quest. The only side quest that matters. I mean...
I'd fight Gandhi.
I was gonna say, you want to fight Abraham Lincoln? Skinny guys got long reach and fight to the burger. If I'm going to quote Fight
bonus points. Oh, I was gonna say bonus points if anybody can tell us what this is from. But yeah, I wouldn't want to fight, but I would want to spar with Bruce Lee.
Sparring would put you in a hospital.
I feel like yes, it would. He'd be like, "What's the matter? Why are you so slow?" Bam! My nose is broken again. Yeah, Bruce Lee. I'd have to train for 5 years to even have a base to be able to. He's not. Maybe not historical. Anybody throughout time. Don't say a T-Rex. That doesn't. It has to be a person. Humanoids.
You said time, and I was like, Doctor Who?
Who?
Exactly. About time.
Anybody. I mean, it could be somebody that's alive now. There's some politicians I would love to take into the ring for a not so friendly sparring match. But that's not the theme of the question.
There's a sparkle on my eye that doesn't belong there. I really don't know. I'd want to fight Albert Einstein just because I want to hang out with Albert Einstein.
What? Why would you do that? That wouldn't be a fight. What are you talking about?
I mean, I would win. That's for sure.
You're gonna beat up an old man that had invented physics? Why? This is a terrible side quest that I've done.
I mean, it would have been better.
What is the relativity of my fist to your face?
It would have been worse if I said Mother Teresa or Anne Frank.
I guess.
Although he might be a good fighter, you don't know.
Albert Einstein. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if you got him in his 20s. I don't know. Fun fact, he's not really known for his martial arts career.
What is he known for?
Albert Einstein?
I thought there was a joke in there.
I'm just saying it's you get in his 20s, maybe he'd probably still be a nerd. But then it might be an even match. I don't know. Anyway, that's our episode. We reviewed the damn thing. It's amazing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go play it right now. I'm not gonna go play it right now. I'm gonna go to sleep because I'm old.
Yeah, I'm gonna go sleep. It's 11 o'clock for all those
But
who
thank
don't
you for
know.
tuning in. If you fast forwarded to the end of this episode, hoping you would find how to enter the contest, I got bad news for you, friendo. It's not gonna be that easy. You gotta
It's
listen to
back
the
at
whole
the beginning,
thing.
bro.
You gotta listen to the whole thing. Sorry, it's somewhere.
Back at the beginning,
it's
bro.
right at the beginning. Just if you start at the beginning and keep listening until you hear it, and you'll find it.
It's right there.
It's like, make your first right. Keep going. Not that one. Yeah, you'll find it. Don't worry. But thanks, Danimu Games, Danimu Car Crush Games, Lizard Cube. You know we love you. Thanks everybody. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Go out there and don't get cut.
Why scissors? Why?